The U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier strike groups, CSGs, are some of the most formidable and powerful forces on the planet. These massive fleets, centered around the aircraft carrier itself, are capable of projecting power across vast distances at a moment's notice. But how fast can these strike groups be deployed? The ability to move swiftly is a vital aspect of the Navy's strategic advantage, and when it comes to getting these forces where they're needed, speed is of the essence. A typical U.S. Navy aircraft carrier strike group consists of a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, a series of destroyers and cruisers, submarines, supply ships, and other support vessels. These components work together in a coordinated way to ensure that the aircraft carrier can deliver air support and offensive power, while the supporting vessels provide defense, logistical aid, and reconnaissance. The speed at which a full strike group can be deployed depends on a variety of factors, including readiness, preparation, and the operational environment. First, it's essential to understand how the Navy prepares these strike groups for deployment. The U.S. Navy maintains a number of aircraft carrier strike groups at varying levels of readiness. When a deployment order is issued, the ships need to be fully stocked with fuel, food, ammunition, and equipment, and the personnel need to be in place and prepared to leave quickly. For routine deployments, this process typically takes around 3 to 5 days, during which time the necessary logistics are handled. Ships are refueled, ammunition is loaded, and supplies are replenished. The aircraft on board the carrier must also be ready for flight operations. The Navy has systems in place to make this process as efficient as possible, ensuring that even in times of heightened tensions or an unexpected global crisis, a strike group can be ready to leave port rapidly. In high, alert situations, the Navy is capable of deploying a strike group in as little as 48 hours, particularly if the ships are already stationed in forward, deployed locations like Japan or the Mediterranean. The U.S. Navy has these strategically placed bases to minimize the time it takes to get a strike group into a region that requires military presence. For example, aircraft carriers based in Yokosuka, Japan, or Rota, Spain, are well positioned to respond to threats in the Pacific or European theaters with minimal delay. Once a deployment order is given, getting underway is the next critical step. The aircraft carrier itself is capable of speeds up to 30 knots, about 35 miles per HR supporting ships, such as the destroyers and cruisers that accompany the carrier, typically travel at similar speeds, meaning that the strike group moves as a coordinated unit. However, the maximum speed of the strike group is largely determined by the speed of the slowest vessel. Typically, the operational speed of a strike group is around 20 to 25 knots, 23 to 29 miles per HR, though this can vary depending on conditions. The U.S. Navy's ability to deploy rapidly is bolstered by the advanced navigation systems on the aircraft carrier and the supporting ships. These systems are designed to ensure that the strike group can travel across vast distances safely and efficiently. With the necessary supplies on board, the strike group can remain on station for extended periods without needing to return to port for refueling or resupply, although supply ships and tankers in the group can provide logistical support during operations. However, speed isn't only about how quickly a ship or group of ships can get moving. The true speed of a carrier strike group's deployment is also determined by its ability to maintain readiness once it's deployed. Once on station, the carrier itself becomes a floating base, ready to launch and recover aircraft on a continuous basis. The aircraft on board the carrier are capable of taking off and landing with incredible speed and precision. The catapult launch system allows fighter jets to launch in mere seconds, providing a rapid response to situations once the carrier strike group reaches its destination. When looking at the speed of deployment, one also has to consider the readiness of the aircraft on board. While it takes a few days to prepare the strike group itself, the aircraft on the carrier are launched almost immediately upon arrival at their destination. Fighter jets, surveillance aircraft, and helicopters are launched for reconnaissance, air superiority, and close air support missions within minutes of reaching the operating area. These jets are capable of reaching their targets in a matter of hours, giving the strike group unparalleled reach and response capabilities. In addition to the logistical aspects of deploying a strike group, the ability to operate in difficult conditions is also a major factor. The Navy trains its personnel to handle not just the routine aspects of operating a carrier strike group, but also the unexpected challenges that can arise in times of crisis. Weather conditions, for example, can have a significant impact on how quickly a strike group can reach its destination. Hurricanes, rough seas, and other environmental factors can slow down progress. However, the U.S. Navy is equipped with the necessary technology and expertise to handle these conditions, ensuring that the strike group can keep moving even in the most adverse weather. There is also the consideration of communication and coordination. For a strike group to be deployed rapidly, All components of the group, aircraft, destroyers, submarines, and support ships, must be in constant communication with each other. The strike group operates as a single entity, with all ships working together seamlessly. The Navy's advanced communication systems allow for continuous coordination, which ensures that each ship and aircraft in the strike group is in the right place at the right time. Once deployed, the strike group can remain on station for an extended period of time. Aircraft carriers have the capacity to remain at sea for months without the need to return to port. Their logistical systems, including fuel replenishment and food supply, allow them to stay operational far from any land-based support. For a carrier strike group, speed is not just about how fast it can move from point A to point B, it's also about how quickly it can become self-sustaining in a remote region and project power, or provide support for as long as necessary. In conclusion, the speed at which a U.S. Navy aircraft carrier strike group can be deployed depends on several factors, including the readiness of the ships and aircraft, their preparation, and their ability to operate in coordination with each other. With the ability to prepare for deployment in as little as 48 hours and maintain operational speeds of 20 to 25 knots, U.S. Navy aircraft carrier strike groups can move quickly and efficiently to their designated mission areas. Once deployed, they provide an unmatched ability to project military power and respond to global events, all while maintaining a high level of operational flexibility and sustainability. The U.S. Navy's aircraft carrier strike groups are among the most powerful and adaptable forces in the world, capable of responding to any situation anywhere in the world whenever necessary.